ओम साई राम। साई माता पिता देना बंधु सका, तेरे शरण में मेरा कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। Holiest pranams to the holiest feet of every Sai soul in this universe. Once a very big VIP came to Swami, and he is the Prime Minister of the country, of this country, India. He is a very short-term Prime Minister of India. I don't want to name. So discussion chal raha tha. So he suddenly asked Swami what bhakti is. Swami said, "अच्छा भक्ति में पर समझना चाहती हो? Wait करो, बताता हूँ मैं आपको, बिल्कुल बताता हूँ." So there was a student standing there. Swami looked at him. प्रधानमंत्री को पानी पिलाओ. So the student went, brought 2 glasses of water in a tray, stood there, was standing there. Swami has been conversing. As many would know, nothing happens in Swami, in Puttaparthi, especially in the closest vicinity of Swami, unless there is an ishara from Swami's side. So 15 minutes gone, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes gone, around 40 minutes. Swami looked at the student and said, "Tray chhod do." So everybody thought, okay, the poor guy has been standing there, he should be happy. So the student who was holding the tray just dropped the tray. The tray fell down, the glasses broke, the water spilled over. Obviously, those who are in and around thought that was the last day for the student over there, because he behaved non-commonsensically, the way he is not supposed to. That moment, Swami looked at that VVIP and told, "This is bhakti." He did not think what kind of effect it is going to happen on him. He simply followed what his guru, what his master, what his mentor, which he has taken within himself, has instructed him or directed him or told him to do. This is the first transformation of bhakti. So today when I'm talking about living through Sai, I'm just thinking within myself how Swami makes us move from our current state step by step to the state of what he wants us to be. If at all you go to Puttaparthi, you go to Chaitanya Jyoti, there is a beautiful line written over there. You can read it in the museum. It says, "You come to be dumb, I'll make you speak. You come to be deaf, I'll make you hear. You come to be crawling, I lift you up. You come to me to surrender, I will take you all through in any janma." This is beautifully written in Chaitanya Jyoti Museum. Now, I'm also reminded of a very small sloka. The sloka is basically there is a lot of Shankaracharya cult of saints which wrote about Mataji. That Mataji, in that there is a beautiful sloka. It's called Mukhastuti. Not that I know Sanskrit or Hindi, as I keep repeatedly telling. I happen to, Swami's grace, hear such beautiful jewels of bhakti and wisdom through these slokas, where it says, "Mataha shanastabaya, mamtava dikshidena, mandakshidena sudanerehi prokshidena, kamakshi karma divirodkara bhaskarena, seyaskarena madhu padyudi daskarena." Mataha shanastabaya, which means, Mata, your eyelid, when the eyelid just goes down and up, that once less than a fraction of a second you look at me. The moment you look at me, all my karmas, all my bad thoughts, all my inhibitions, all my illusions, all my bad intentions melt and become an offering in your holiest feet. So Mata, at least in any of my janma, give me that less than a fraction of a second sight at me. So this is the gist of the sloka. If I move this straight to Swami, what Swami does? Somewhere, somehow we land in Swami's lap. That the way I just want to take you through, live through Sai, is basically, first you start living what you are, then you start integrating yourself to the way Swami wants you to live. Now, does Swami want you to live as a sannyasi? Does Swami want you to live as a kind of a saint? Does Swami want you to live as someone, who should not be attached to the world? Absolutely no. Beautifully, Swami says, head in the forest, body in the society. Which means what? In the forest, the head is supposed to be peaceful. The head is supposed to be free contact with even animals, water, natural food, not the typical severies of the society. While the body, which is in the society, should run to serve, should run to contribute, should run to assimilate, should run to cooperate, should run to converge, should run to go and embrace that needy soul. So in a way, Bhavan says, see, during Ramayana, Rama was walking on foot. He was hardly bearing a cloth. He had a kind of a vastra, and he had a kind of a vastra to cover his forebody. And he was walking on foot. He went 14 days, 14 years into the forest. He was all along standing there and being there in a very, 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 very sublime. That is Treta Yuga. Now come to Krishna Yuga. Dwapara Yuga. Now Dwapara Yuga, look at Krishna. He mixed with Gopikas. He played with them. He poked them. He made fun of them. He got into Kamsa's grip. He got out of Kamsa's grip by killing him. After that, he has come into the Pandava's life. In Pandava's life, he made himself physically absent during that whole Chaturanga was happening. When Draupadi was humiliated, when she at last left that even the piece of cloth which she felt was hiding her, he came and embraced her with his complete love. Subsequently, in the war front, he did everything possible, right or wrong is immaterial, to give an element of Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita was given on the battlefield. When people were killed, when the screams were heard, when the fight was happening, Bhavan says Krishna created that space in Arjuna's mind to absorb that kind of a biggest concept to remove his illusion. Therefore, living through Sai exactly is the same way. The moment you start taking the first step towards Swami, the moment you taking the first step towards Swami, here I mean not Baba of that orange robe, that beautiful black hair, that lovely smile, that manifestation, that beautiful pimple in the chin. No, Swami, I say is, when you close your eyes, when you forget yourself, that state is Swami. That believe that state is Swami. When you say live through Swami, what we do? What is end of the day we try to do by meditation? Through meditation, we are trying to find that point of solace within us, that point of communion within us, where Venkatesh has this body, our body with Venkatesh as a name is trying to blend and mix and match with that unique universal force which stands as Venkatesh in the universe, in the physical universe. So the living through Sai, the best part is Swami gives you every opportunity to be living as you are. In the Kali Yuga, Swami doesn't want you to become a saint and go and meditate in Himalayas for years and months and days. No, live in your life. Sealing on desires. Beautiful term Swami gave it to us. Do everything. Play cricket. Play tennis. Go to the movie. Watch the OTT Prime Video. Watch the cricket where India lost to New Zealand with all that disappointment. Still draw a line. That line is very clear. Beyond this point, I'm not going to get involved in this. That line is what is called living through Sai, as far as my little wisdom is concerned. I will again go back to a small story. There was an husband and wife who was staying in a house. They had a maid servant. So one day, the husband and wife were standing in the room. They were watching through the window. The maid was cleaning the floor, mopping the floor. The wife told to the husband, say, Dekho, what is she? She hardly does any job. Look at that. Half of the space is still having stains. She's not even cleaning properly. She's just not able to do anything right. So she started in her own way, creeping. The husband, so then suddenly she had a call. She went out. At that point of time, the husband went, brought a cloth, cleaned the mirror, cleaned the glass, which was actually a cover in the window facing the floor. Once he cleaned, the wife came back. Now the wife looked at, in the meantime, the wife went to the servant and gave her a mouthful. She came back and stood there and said, "Ha, look at that." After shouting at her, look at how clean she has done. At the time, the husband turned back and told her, "Honey, you know what I did? She has been doing her job only. I only cleaned the glass which is separating you and her to view. Because there was a dust in the glass, you are assuming that the floor was having a stain. So it is actually not the problem with the servant. It is a problem through which you are seeing, the medium through which you are seeing. That is actually the problem." It is here Swami comes as living through Sai. As Venkatesh, as X, as Y, we come from various background, various cultures. Partly in our childhood, we are put into your brains and heart certain kind of a belief, certain kind of a culture, certain kind of a, what do you call it as, ये हमारा tradition है, हमारा पारंपरिक है, right? By which if a person comes with leprosy, don't go near him, stay away from him. From that situation, when you actually come into Swami's fold, when Swami enters you, your blurred vision started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger day in and day out. Then you say, "Hey, ye bhi ek human hai. This is also a human. This person suffers because of me. It is also a good soul. First, I won't go anywhere near. First, I will see to it I do no harm to him. Then after some time, I give him a roti. After some time, when I keep engraving in Swami's activities regularly, I start becoming, okay, let me get him a blanket. After that, I see, okay, this person has a pain in a scare in his leg. Let me get him a nice chapel." This is how step by step, Swami keeps moving us up above the ladder. There was a time in Puttaparthi, one day Swami called one of the staff and said, "Go to the hostel, call that boy, tell him to give a shaving cream." The staff was very surprised. Swami asking shaving cream? That too from a student all the way. By a movement of a single finger, crates of creams will come and fall here. What is this happening? Anyway, no questions asked. When Swami says you have to do it, he rushed to the hostel, went into the boys' room. The student told the student, "Swami wants a shaving cream from you." He said, "Swami wants a shaving cream from me? Why? How can you want a shaving cream from me? मेरे पास तो है कि नहीं मालूम है." He then searched, he found one dirty which is almost about to get exhausted. It has got hardly some, maybe a 1 or 2 usage left in that if you hard press it. The staff took it, brought it back and gave it to Swami. Swami took it. Now this happened. About 1 week later, the boy came and thanked Swami. "Swami, I had this problem in my exam. Thank you, Swami. I have not done anything which you told me to do as a process of prayer, meditation, etc. But still you helped me to pass the examination, Swami." At that time, Swami said, "Dannapado, to create that obligation upon me, I have to instigate you to do some help to me. I send that person to your room to get that shaving kit, shaving paste, just to receive it, so that you got a plus for me to respond as a minus, so that the plus and minus becomes equal. Only the negative and positive comes the electricity erupts." This is precisely living through Sai. As what we are when we enter, getting to know about Swami, as what you progress, when you start knowing more and more and more about Swami, that is the time we find a way that Swami is more and more easily available to us to change us within us, so that we start reflecting Swami within us to reach that state. That is the ultimate and the final state of communion with Swami. How it happens? It doesn't happen with Swami's body and Swami's position merging with Venkatesh body and Venkatesh soul. It happens at a soul-to-soul level, even while living. I remember once I was in Puttaparthi, Swami came to Anil Kumarji and asked him, "Anil, kya chahiye tere ko? Swarg dila do? Should I get you the heaven?" Anil Kumar said, "Please, Swami, I don't want any heaven given and all. What are you trying to give me, which I don't even know how it is going to? Right now, I am in bliss. I am living with you in heaven. When I close, you are there. When I open my eyes, you are in any case there. What are you trying to give me, Swami? I don't want anything. I want this in every birth. Grant me this. Let me remain in this mental and heartful state That is good enough for me, Swami. I don't want anything more than this. This is Swami's beautiful way of getting people get accustomed, get added, get aligned, get converged into him more and more and more. Now, I would also like to mention what happened in Delhi. My brother Chandrasekhar just now mentioned in 2010, Swami came. On the very first day Swami came. Swami came on 9th of April, went and took rest, and Swami was to come and give darshan. We had a police inspector called Rajesh. I remember his name very well. And this Rajesh man is very, very strict. Very strict. Because few weeks back, he stopped a fashion show because there was no fire NOC. That day, incidentally, we did not have the fire NOC for the place where Swami is giving darshan at the Lodi Road. We obtained the NOC, but nobody knows who is having a copy of it. Now remember, that day, Inspector General of Chhattisgarh, Inspector General of Madhya Pradesh were all waiting for darshan. Whereas this gentleman stopped the people to enter inside. Nobody can enter the pandal till I get the NOC. Now, Inspector Generals, they came and in an indirect way started intimidating him. Hey, you are standing without a cap on your head. I can even suspend you right away. Why are you doing this? Please, you can get the copy later. We have all come here all the way from this to have Swami's darshan. Allow us, no? He said, sir, this is my rule. I have to stand by it. Now, after some time, somehow that sheet was got given to him. He saw that. He's agreed, fine. Now, darshan can. As a schedule, the allowing devotees to go for darshan got delayed by 45 minutes. Fortunately, Swami came after everybody settled down. All this went through. 3 days later, Swami was coming for rounds within the same Satya Sai center in Delhi, outside. And when he passed through this police, when he stopped, Swami looked at him. Kya karta hai? He is in police uniform. Swami is asking him, Kya karta? He said, Swami, I'm an inspector assigned a duty here. He didn't say even Swami, sir, I'm assigned to do a duty here. Swami looked at him, manifested a ring for him, gave it to him, and he fell down and practically laid on Swami's feet. Then, when Swami went out, late evening, I met him. At the time, he said, we people in police always believed coercion is the form of discipline. But today, I learned how love can also be a form of discipline. At the time, Swami made me compare how he was steadfast in holding his principle. Give me the NOC, you may be IG, you may be OG, you may be whatever G, you can't enter. That is his duty. That is his karam. He performed in the Dharam way, and Bhagavan came and blessed him. Look at the way, after that, this gentleman did not have a child. He got married for about 7 years back. He did not have a child, and he was blessed with a child also the next year. Now, how, without knowing Swami, this gentleman had the blessing of Swami, and therefore there is a 360-degree change from Rajesh as an inspector to Rajesh as I follower. And I am in touch with him even today. The gentleman offers to help in whichever form and way he wants to do. The other thing is, I want to give some 1 or 2 humorous incidents. Swami is not that. He doesn't, again, he wants us to be happy. Happy at whatever extent, but at nobody else's cost. At your own effort, at your own virtue, at your own value, you can be as much happier as you want. As a Sevadal, we used to go to Puttaparthi to perform the Seva. Sometimes we used to get good strength, sometimes we don't get strength. There was a time where we did not get good strength of Sevadals to perform. The minimum number required is X. We had X minus 40%. Now, what we did, we, instead of placing if 5 Sevadals are required in a place, we put 2 people on them, combining the points. Now, there is a security officer there who was a very, very strict gentleman. But we never had the guts to go and tell him that we are short in number, so we lied him. We lied him, sir, aaj 300 hai, kal 400 aa jayega. 300 people are there, 400 will come tomorrow. So we told one of the guy, he always wants the W1 block, which is the VIP block, where a Sevadal has to be posted everywhere. So that when he comes out of his house, he should see a Sevadal standing there. That is his first positive sign in the morning. So what we did, we pulled a Sevadal from some other duty, Seva point, and placed him there. We told him, So gentleman will come, you tell him Sai Ram. This is a small briefing we gave him. That day, incidentally, this gentleman didn't come out of his house. He came from his behind. He came and he touched his shoulder and tapped him. I said, hey, who are you? You're a Sevadana. What are you doing? What is your duty? This man said, sir, I'm told to stand here and say Sai Ram. So please move. Mr. So-and-so is going to come. Please move. The man said, here, I am that so-and-so. Right? And you are cheating myself. And he burst into laughter. Now, suddenly, then he called all of us. He said, Venkatesh, not to worry. You are running short of people. Be afraid. We'll help you. Now, the point you have to consider is what we did mischievously, may not be with the ill intent, but mischievously is set right by Swami through a humorous way. That day, I decided I will go and tell even a number short, but I will not tell a number more. The fact is, living through Sai brings us to so much of life-fulfilling moments, right from a tiniest one to the biggest one. I was party to many sort of, humorous things which has happened with Swami. One incident I will refer. In the Vrindavan hostel, students were taking bath in the cold water. One day Swami got to know about it. So Swami said, okay, install heaters, water heaters. Water heaters were installed. So, as usual, Swami is called to come and do the inauguration. This was way back in the 80s. Swami came, everybody was there. Swami went to the part. For the sake of accumulating water into a tank right next to the pipe, through which the hot water comes, the students attached a pipe. Swami went, opened the tap. By the force of that water, the pipe got removed and the whole hot water fell onto Swami. Here's down to Swami rather. Everybody was shaken to the core, At the time, Swami turned and looked at, you stupid fellows. If you wanted me to have the first bath, you should have told me, no? Why you have called only for inauguration? You should have told me, Swami, you should take bath also. Everybody lost out. And they simply, was on the one eye crying of Swami's grace, on the other eye crying of Swami's humor. So this is the way Swami veins through, maneuvers through each and every part of your life. And let me take to the last stage so that we can go to the next session. In Shirdi Satcharita, it's beautifully written. Demolish the wall of difference that separates you and me, so that our communion is easy, our communion is fast, our communionship is intense and ever together. This is precisely Swami wants. Never try to see me outside you, see me within you. I am you, you are me. You may not have trust on me. I have fullest trust that you are going to be my child ever. You will always fall in my way. I want you to shape up down the line. May not be today, down the line for sure. So, my dear brothers and sisters, in the living through Sai is not into any one moment. It is over janmas. It is over births. It is the very fact that we are, that Loka which said that Airabha Swami, that Airabha Mata has fell on us out of the 7.3 billion people in the world. We are the chosen few millions, out of which we are chosen few hundreds, who at this point of time can remember the beauty of Swami to keep recalling with all the gratitude. Certainly, it's certainly a beautiful question. I think very nicely put it across, taking connotations from Bhagavad Gita. I'll give an example. A child has a toy. The toy is broken, right? When the toy is broken, till the time the toy was there, the child was playing like hell. Once the toy is broken, the child is heartbroken. Whereas a mother comes back and handles it in a very different way. She comes and tells that, "Arey, not to worry. Because here, what happens is, the wisdom of the mother has matured to a level to quench the distress of the child. Now, this is the process. When the Maya comes and hits you, which it is supposed to hit, forget about we as a human. 1,000 years of tapash, Vishwamitra lost in a second. And without doing any tapash, Pragalata attained Narayana. He just surrendered. So when the Maya comes to disturb that Paramatma Jivatma integration. That's where Swami gives us, through the kind of a attachment to him, or through the kind of a process of meditation, how much ever long, how much ever short it is, he starts giving you a conviction of clarity. Are ye Maya. The moment you identified it as Maya, the question is how much more to stop, whether to stop fully, how much ever to stop. I'll give an example. Swami said, a student was smoking. Swami said, will you start smoking? Swami, kalli chodunga. I said, he said, don't do it. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Now look at this fan. When you switch on, the fan runs. After some time, when you switch off the fan takes some time to come to a static state, right? That is what is Maya. Now, the Maya itself in some case becomes a kind of a springboard. Because of you getting into that kind of a level of involvement, either rightly or wrongly, in the area which you feel you should not have done, comes the realization double. Arey, maine karna nahi chahiye tha, maine kar liya. So that Maya, when it comes to play between the Paramatma Jivatma, first of all, brother, let me tell you, I am personally not very savvy about this terms of Jivatma, Paramatma, Maya. I just understand this one thing. Listen, what I can understand and what I cannot understand, what I can accept and what I cannot accept, right? What my wisdom tells me, what I'm made to go through. End of the day, Mukti, it's attained not by any automatic thing. Mukti is a clarity. Clarity is what? Communion. Communion is what? Darkness to light. That light is nothing but a clarity within all your vein. Yes, this is what I am going to be. It's like in the race course, the horse runs straight to that particular point only. It neither deviates this side nor that side. Once you get into that kind of a state, that's not going to be easy. But when the Maya plays, step by step, you conquer that Maya. First thing is realization. Yes, the Maya is there. Great. Because realization is half the solution to any problem. Now, while Swami has said, listen, many of you complicate God. God turned the word as dog, D-O-G. Dog is nothing but the most loyal and the loving animal. You just, I'm personally scared of keeping any dog or anything, but I've always observed, you just look at her, she will just wait for the master to look at her. She will just run, pile on them. At the same time, the master is in the peril. The first one to understand is the dog which he keeps with him, then the human being who may be his wife or son or daughter or anybody. Now, Swami says that way, God is very, very simple. You go to a ocean, stand before a ocean. Till then it is a ocean. You put your hand and pull out 5 drops of water, droplets come and go down and vanish. Now that goes to the sand and get vanished. So from identity of ocean, you have become identity of droplets, gone to the sand, get absorbed by the heat, again come back as rain and mix with me. So end of the day, whatever you do, whichever grain you go through, so long as you've taken the first step towards me, I am there, I will be there, I am going to be there, not me as some external switch, but me as within you. You will start identifying the Maya to control it. So that because you have made an objective of converging the Jivatma into Paramatma. So in a way, it is nothing but a process. In that process, somebody else's karmas are getting answered, right? Somebody else, it may be a human, it may be an animal, it may be an insect, that is also getting answered. So the whole cosmos is a beauty. That's the reason it is said, nobody has understood the cosmos. If they understood the cosmos, they will never ever come back to explain. Those who understood the cosmos never able to come back to explain what the cosmos is. God is nothing but, in simple way, Swami says, God is a big, very, very bad engineer. Very bad engineer. Look at this. A small plant in the paddle field, if you don't pour water, it dies. Whereas a tree in the roadside, it just stands, nobody cares it. It's a very bad engineer. Then Swami also answers, listen, those who are getting attached to me constantly become so robust that they don't need to get my grace and grace and grace. They live on that particular single surrender to me. Those who want my grace is like a paddy field. They need to be watered. They look for the water. They will also one day become a tree. But again, it is a process. The process can be years, births, whatnot and what will. I tell you, Swami is also very, Swami shows his pranks in all the way. Like he asked a student, who are you? So he said, Swami, I am you. Acha, if I am you, go and give darshan, go and give darshan. So he said, Swami, I can go and give darshan, but who will pray me? Everybody will look at you and pray me. Then Swami said, many people keep ridiculing me about my manifestation. He was referring to a big magician who at the time used to question Swami, right? That he manifests and all is a magician world. So I one day was feeling, why is he always criticizing me? He's also my child. But can he not understand this simple thing? Yes, my manifestation could be a magic in his eyes. But when I walk towards some hundreds or thousands of people, there are few people melt by eyes. There are few people melt by body. There are few people melt by character. Can this any magician do this? It happens only when you have that quality, and when I have that receiving ability, that the negative positive erupts to erupt the current. Swami gives a beautiful example. Everybody knows that Arjuna is a Krishna Bhakta. Arjuna is a very, very follower of Krishna. But many people may or may not know Abhimanyu is an ardent devotee of Krishna. And in the entire Mahabharata Kurukshetra war, if Krishna dropped a tear, it is on two occasions. More during Abhimanyu, less during Ghaotkacha's Vad. Because Abhimanyu, whenever he walks, Krishna Arpan, Krishna Arpan, Krishna Arpan, Krishna Arpan, he keeps offering everything to Swami. Arjuna is not like that. Arjuna feels 8:30, I should go there. Arey, my run is going slow. I should reach there. I should perform this puja. He is more on material, then later on bhav. Whereas Abhimanyu was more on bhav, less on material. So Krishna said, that is why he is always close to my heart. Absolutely close to my heart. I also remember one more, incident in Puttaparthi only. There used to be a Dikshit uncle who used to ring the bell for the Aarti. So one day I was doing seva, he came to me, yaar, ye jo God hai na, ye Baba, ye bada dangerous hai. Isse dur rehna. Hamesha dur rehna. Hamesha dur rehna. Ye aapko khila deta hai, pareshan karta hai. I said, how can a man of his stature tell about this to Swami? At the time, my wisdom is like a human. What is this negative view? What is this more coming? One day, Swami came out and we as rope boys were running at near Swami's car. Swami looked at me and said, मैं बहुत bad हूँ. मेरे साथ दौड़ना मत. मैं बहुत bad हूँ. हंस के. I mean, he keeps laughing and telling me. Then I reminded of the Dikshit uncle telling to me. That means Swami is an inherent observer of any thought, any intent, any act, any rope, any form, any way, anywhere. So, the very fact that you are come into that fold, the very fact that you are attracted by him, or rather he has drawn you into his fold, itself is the biggest blessing which has inherited over births. Never Siddhartha realized once he go to the banyan tree, he will come back as a Gautama. Never Agalika realized when she was a stone, when Rama's leg hit the stone, she became a Agalika. So that is the kind of living through Sai happens to us also. And Swami always says, you always compare yourself with Mera ye nahi ho pa raha hai, wo nahi ho pa raha. Don't worry about whatever you do. Don't worry about little or small. Do it seriously and sincerely. Good enough. That comes to me straight. That is absolutely coming to me straight. It said, no, I mean, the bells in the mandir and the masjid or church, if you ring it, it's maybe louder, but the voice emanating, the prayer silently emanating from a heart reaches Bhagavan more faster than any of this bells in the church and mosque and temples. That's how it is. That is Swami. That is living through. The moment you decide to even walk your way, your intent matters. Rest he takes care. He guides you. He glides you. That's it.